My name is Bradley Jones.
I'm Andrew Moldenhauer.
And I'm Andy Hubert.
And this is not a movie review podcast, but a podcast where we try to recall the events of a film that we haven't seen in a very, very long time. This is what we remember about Rookie of the Year.
I didn't like me singing the blank check.
I like that.
I did like it!
I
That's
wanted
my
to.
favorite part.
I wanted to, and I sung the Gaston bit in one of them. I think that's just like a funny thing.
That was
to, it's funny if you hit play and it's like, what's going on?
I will say,
in
like,
this
the only
podcast?
reason why I said that was because I didn't like me singing that part.
Did you like mine where I was singing the Gaston
I thought it was
song?
fine.
Okay, well.
Rookie of the Year. What, this came out in 1995, right?
You're asking
92,
us like we know
I
better
think.
than you. Ooh.
I think
This
it was
is
early.
brilliant.
Ooh.
You think so?
92, 93 would be my guess. I think it was after Sandlot. Or they're like the exact same time.
Sandlot came out in 93.
So this was 94 then.
I say it's 95.
Or also 93.
I'm
Okay.
gonna. I'll go.
Okay.
I'll split the difference at 94. So
Okay.
it's gonna be between 93 and 95.
Okay.
Right. Regardless, this was at the height of 90s kids sports films, I
Yes.
would say. There was
Yeah.
Mighty Ducks had come out, Sandlot, this,
Angels in the outfield.
Angels in the Outfield,
Little Giants.
Little Giants.
Giants.
They did basically... Maybe was there Air Bud was the basketball one.
Airbud.
They
Airbud
didn't
came,
feature a
Airbud
kid.
came a little bit later. Yeah.
But they did almost every sport, I would say. Every big American sport.
Definitely.
90s.
Yeah, so this
Yeah.
this kind of clinched like the baseball era along with Angels in the Outfield in a way.
Yes.
Obviously very different stories though. So who's the main actor in the movie?
It's the kid from American Pie. He grew
Yeah.
up. I don't know his name.
His
I don't know
real
his-
name or his film name.
I don't know either.
Dang, I was hoping you would know one because I was just sitting here like I don't remember either.
Do we know the main character's name at least?
No.
I think it's Daniel.
Daniel.
Oh, Daniel's not bad.
We'll go with Daniel.
Daniel,
for
okay,
for
the
this
main
recording.
character's name is Daniel.
Right. So it starts with him.
Oh, Hosengarten or whatever.
Rosengarten.
Rosengarten. Because they make a big point of the coach not remembering his name.
Coach never remembers his name, and that's one of my favorite running jokes in that film.
Yeah.
Right? Of which there are many running jokes in this
So
film.
does this movie open up with him going to a baseball game right out of the gate? Like his mom takes him to a game? Is that what happens?
Okay, so
How does this movie open?
there's a running element throughout the story that it's him and his two buddies. They're all kind of like,
They play Little
They're-
League baseball or like backyard baseball with each other?
I don't know exactly, but there's this running thing that they always like get together. They work on this boat throughout the movie. They're kind of like their own little like niche group,
Yeah,
and they
right.
don't really
They roll
go
as a crew
outside of
together.
their element.
Yeah. Oh yeah, they work on a boat.
Yep.
Right, and they put it in the river. I know you just said that.
I did just say
But I'm like in my mind, it's a raft for some reason, but maybe it's a boat.
no, they're working on like a.
They're sanding it, maybe,
It's a
and
little
painting it?
dinghy boat, and they're
It's a-
trying to repair
Yeah.
the motor and patch it because it's got holes. and
Yeah.
leaks.
Does it work right away?
They're
Are
trying
they-
to like get it ready for summer or whatever, and
Yeah, because that's what you do, I guess.
although I
You
think
hang out with
they're
your buddy and make a boat by the river.
exactly.
I guess when you live in Chicago, there's nothing else to do.
That's
Yeah.
true. This movie does take place in Chicago, so they're
So
probably
it is-
going to like Lake Michigan.
What I had was what team he joins, and it's the Cubs, or is it the
It
Cubs?
is the
It is the
Cubs,
Cubs.
the Chicago Cubs.
All right.
And there's almost like a degree of this kid being like the savior of the Cubs, because the Cubs
Right.
haven't won the World Series since like
Over 100 years.
1907 or
Yeah.
whatever it is.
Okay.
Like they have this curse on them, and he's the savior to come in to
Save everything.
to allow them to win this championship.
All right, let's back it up a little bit. He goes to the game with his friend, and don't they find like a secret spot in the stadium? Don't they like hide out like
Oh, I
an upper
do
bleacher part, or like by like a
Yeah.
flagpole to get like the best seat in the house?
Okay, here's what I do remember. Yes, I think you're right. They do go to a Cubs game.
Uh-huh.
And what happens is they're diehard Cubs fanatics.
Right.
There's this Gary Busey, is it, or Nick Nolte?
It's Gary
Gary
Busey.
Busey,
Okay, it is
He's
Gary.
like the lead Cubs hitter, I think.
He's the
His
pitcher.
name is
he's
the-
the
for
pitcher.
Yeah, he's the Rocket.
The Rocket is his nickname. yeah.
Okay.
And what happens is, Rosengarten catches a
Fly ball?
fly ball it's maybe a foul ball or whatever. He catches this ball, and everyone says, "Throw it back, throw it back," because it was from the other team. It was like a home run or whatever. Mm-hmm. And so he can't throws it back,
but it doesn't get to the field, right?
Yeah, because he doesn't know how to play baseball.
He doesn't know how to throw a ball.
He doesn't know how to be a sports guy.
Exactly. Mm-hmm. So he's just bad at baseball. Like that's like the first part because it's obviously he's setting up.
Everyone teases this little kid for not being able to throw a ball.
This is also a random talking point I brought up, which is like, I think that divorce started to become a little bit more popular in the 90s, where like people were like,
I thought the dad was dead.
I don't know why I used the word popular. No, the dad, it was like an absentee father. Like he's not in the beginning of the movie. He's being raised by a single mom.
Yeah, I remember that for sure. But
I thought he had passed away.
That's an
element of the story.
I thought maybe he used to be a baseball player too.
He was a baseball player. His mom always said all these like great stories about how great his dad was, but not telling the real truth that he's probably just like a schmuck, like alcoholic or something like that.
I'm gonna make a claim that the dad is dead in the film. I don't know why I think that. But
I would think you're wrong because
I could be wrong.
I think what happens is the dad comes back into the picture when he is signed by the Cubs.
No, that's his mom's boyfriend.
His mom's probably dating somebody.
Oh, maybe you are right.
I don't know if it's his stepdad or if it's just the boyfriend. I think it's.
Oh my god, that just poked a hole in my. That poked a hole in my notes.
Okay. Yeah. So after the baseball game and the failed throw, he and his friend are playing on the field, right?
I think they're at like recess or something.
Yeah, they're just goofing around. I don't know if they're playing baseball.
Are they in middle school?
I feel like they're
they're high school. Like
I feel like middle school is right.
Middle school might be right though.
They're like 8th grade, 9th grade.
8th grade. Yeah,
I have no idea how old he is.
Somewhere in there.
Although I guess we're weird because for us, like 9th grade is high school, but
right.
Yeah,
depends on where you're from. It could be a K-12 school for all we know.
Right. So he's at recess one day.
I think he's at just playing with his friend. I don't know if it's This movie doesn't involve a school. I don't think he ever goes to school. I think this is like Blank Check, where it's another summer recess film.
Okay.
It might be.
Because how else would he get school off to play with the Cubs?
Yeah.
To play with the Cubs? Are you kidding? Of course he gets time off school for that.
Maybe he has a tutor on the road.
If he's going to go to the principal and be like, "Sorry, principal, I play for the Cubs now." The principal's like, "I'm a diehard Cubs fan, so that's okay with me. You can throw away your education." Yeah.
So his best friend hits a pop fly ball into the field, and he goes to catch it. And that's when he breaks his arm.
He breaks his arm because he slips on another
baseball that was in the grass.
Okay.
Yep. He's running backwards because I know that they do like the super slow motion, like him running back. He hits the ball with his foot. He flies in the air and lands down on his arm.
Yeah, slams his elbow.
Yeah.
Breaks his arm.
Yeah, he just wrecks the entire arm. Mm-hmm. But I didn't know how they set that up. Was he watching like his friend play baseball?
They're playing together, and he was going for the catch.
Oh,
he was going to catch. He was catching.
That's why I thought it was recess because I thought like there was another group of kids playing.
I think it was just him.
I feel like he was trying to impress a girl.
There's definitely a girl involved.
And like he's like, "Oh, I'll get this ball or something," and so he's like, he sees her and starts running for it, and then he misses. Mm-hmm. He doesn't see that
he's like trying really hard because he wants to impress this girl that's watching him.
Yes.
It also kind of distracts him in a way.
Yeah.
But I don't know why is there just a random ball? Like no one threw the balls back into the
because it's the 90s. No one cared about safety.
Yeah. Okay. You can go outside right now and trip over a baseball.
I mean, look, a random baseball in the outfield is like a rampant theme in this film because it happens to him more than once.
Yeah, I think you're right. So he breaks his arm.
Yes.
Goes to the
hospital.
Goes to the hospital. His mom shows up. You got this kind of young doctor guy who he shows up maybe 2 or 3 times in this movie. Puts him in basically like an L-shaped cast, like an upright arm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Which is really weird because wouldn't like the blood circulation just like leave his arm completely?
I'm no medical doctor.
Yeah, I don't know how that works.
Doesn't seem like the way to put it up.
And how quickly he's in a cast for how long in the film?
A month, I'd say.
I thought it was like right away he starts.
I'm not sure
getting
how
that
long he's in there, but he's in there.
Going.
I feel like he was like, "Oh no, my summer" or something because
I don't think he's even in a cast. I think they just like maybe it's in for a second, but they away he's already using that arm. It's already
no, they totally put him in like a full,
that's like the school year. I think
cast.
for the like the duration of the school year or something, he's in this cast.
Yeah, he can't play like
Cat's going crazy.
Yeah, Cat's going nuts over there.
He can't play middle school baseball anymore. He has to sit the rest of the season out.
I think he wasn't good enough to be on the team anyway.
Go get this cat.
Cat wrangler over here. Cat! All right, let's pause for a second.
As Andy murders his own cat.
What do you want? All right, I'll put you outside if that's what you want. It's snowing out there, you dope.
Well, outside cats, huh?
Other cat was like, now's my time.
I can...
All right.
Time is up.
Bunch of idiot cats. Can't bother us out there. Haha.
Bubbles didn't make the grade.
She is too dumb to go outside.
She'd get him lost immediately.
She'd get lost in a bush. She'd be like, where am I? All right.
Okay. Andy Huber just killed his own cats for the sake of the podcast.
Look, it had to be done.
They're murdered. So I think right away he's in the hospital and he's already using that Rookie of the Year arm or whatever. Maybe the school year goes by.
Cast off.
When they take his cast off.
Yeah, they take the cast off and
suddenly his arm can just move very quickly.
Yeah, because the doctor's like having him do exercises.
yeah, he's like, hey,
Right.
just flex your arm.
Flex your arm a little
down.
bit.
And he's like, just move it down slightly. And the kid like literally like whips his hand and smacks the doctor in the nose.
Right in the nose.
And do you remember what the doctor says?
I wrote this down.
Funky butt loving.
That's right.
And
like, did he just say funky?
And the little kid says, "Did he just say funky butt loving?"
That's a reoccurring thing in the film. It's like that. I think that phrase comes up more than once.
Funky
Or no, I think the kids use it after that. Yeah, they say funky butt loving.
Was that an improv moment or was that
Also,
written?
I would have to.
Also,
hope
yeah,
so.
why were his friends? Do friends normally come with you to the hospital?
Yeah,
to get
moral
cast?
support.
Okay, these
They come
these
from moral
friends were
support.
they were best
They were
buds
like best
for
buds.
like
Yeah.
That's true.
probably since they were growing up like at like 4 years old or something like that. Like
Yeah,
they
I can
go
see that.
everywhere together is what they're kind of trying to get at throughout
Yeah.
the movie.
Right. Okay.
So that when he goes to the Cubs, it's kind of like his moment to shine away from his friends and they kind of that element starts to break down.
So how quickly does he learn that he can throw a ball really fast? Like right after he gets his cast off, is he starting to play
No,
ball?
I think he realizes it when he goes to another Cubs game.
Oh, and then he throws another
He gets to throw
Oh.
it back, and he throws
And he
it
whips
from
it
the outfield
into like the catcher.
to the
So
catcher.
wait, that first throw it back moment that I was talking about, did that not happen?
I don't know.
Or...
I don't
No,
know.
I think that does happen.
might
So it
happen.
happens twice?
Look,
Right.
he's a really
Right.
lucky kid, you know, in terms of receiving home runs, I guess.
They're always going to Cubs games. Is that because the Cubs were doing so poorly? Like anyone can
No,
just
that's
get
I
in?
thought maybe they
Cubs
had a-
fans always go to Cubs
They
games.
might have had an in too, with like a security guard or something like that let him in. Or maybe his mom just gave him tickets for like a gift. Oh, you got the cast off. Here's some
Yeah,
Cubs
I think
tickets.
that I remember his
Yeah,
mom being
that's
like, "I got
probably
tickets
it.
to the game." They're like, "Ah!"
Yeah.
and they go nuts. But yeah, I feel like that's when he first throws it because he like they're like throw it back. And he's like, and his arm makes that noise that it always makes.
like kind of like it's like a Tin Man type situation. And he throws it back all the way to the Rocket.
yeah,
Yeah.
Or
to
Gary
the
Busey.
catcher, I
catcher,
think.
I
Yeah,
think.
the
Or
the
catcher's
catcher.
like, "Ooh."
Yeah, and the guy
And
gets like
he falls backwards. He gets throwing
Yeah.
the ball so hard. Or
like
maybe that
this
happens
kid
later,
literally
but-
throws a ball the length of a
And-
of a baseball
yeah,
diamond.
at a fastball speed.
from the outfield.
Yeah.
Yeah. So okay, so then what happens is the coach is like, we need to.
He's
or
like,
the GM or
"Bring me
whatever.
Who was that kid?
Oh, it was the GM guy who's
The
like,
owner, who's like this goofy
We
old
need
man.
this to happen.
who's
We
the
need this
guy
ball.
in Home Alone 2.
Oh, he is
The
toy
FAO
store
Schwartz guy, right?
Yeah, that's right.
The old guy.
Yep, you're totally
who
right.
gives Kevin McAllister the 2 turtle doves.
Yep.
Mhm.
I believe that's the same guy.
Yeah.
Okay.
So he's like, we need to get that kid, talk to that kid or whoever
Yeah.
threw that pitch. And so as they're leaving, I don't know how. Literally don't know what happens next. But someone.
He goes home and they go to his house to recruit him, I think.
Okay.
Like, we need that arm in a team. And it's like, you're going to get a
Yeah.
14-year-old kid to be on the Cubs? Like,
Is that not normal?
How does that happen?
Is that child labor?
I was gonna say,
Are
does
there
he-
rules in the MLB?
What's he have
Are
to
there
do?
age
I mean, if
restrictions?
they're playing like a double header, I feel like that's too long for child labor laws. You know,
Right.
Yeah. I mean, like, Well, kids can work in film, but they have certain like
they can't work like at night in film.
Yeah, they can only work like a part-time day or whatever.
How many hours they can work?
And he's working 2 jobs. He's an actor playing a baseball player, so he's technically
that kid's
he's getting overtime.
Yeah, he's busy. He's very in demand.
So there's got to be a conversation with his mom about joining the team and him wanting to do it and her not wanting it to happen.
I don't know. I almost feel like his mom is like very supportive. Like, I think that she may have not wanted him to do it because she feels like they were kind of trying to use him in a way instead of it being this element of them trying to like let him into the team for like the sake of it being a fun experience. Like they're trying to like capture this moment of this kid being really good and exploit that is what I was trying to say.
Oh, I see. Yeah.
Yeah. Something along those lines.
Well, yeah, there are different. There's like the different staff people on the team, and the owner's like this well-meaning, goofy old guy.
Yeah.
Then there's like the conniving GM guy who is like, I don't know if he's supposed to take over the team or something, but he's like the evil, greedy guy.
Okay, so he would be like the antagonist.
And yeah.
But I literally don't remember any of
I just know like Daniel Stern.
And then there's the stepdad guy who like is his manager who becomes like a money greedy guy.
Yeah, okay. He would probably be an antagonist.
Yeah, maybe he like
they were kind of in
convinces his
mom. Yeah, him and like the GM
I like
guy
that.
are like the in cahoots.
I think the stepdad does try to convince the mom to do it.
Yeah.
And he's like, I'll be the manager.
Take 10.
And then Daniel Stern comes in as the pitching coach.
Right.
Yes.
So
the wise veteran pitching coach that knows all the secrets.
I will say I love Daniel Stern, one of his best roles.
He's always chewing tobacco, I think, in like every single scene.
Or gum or whatever it is.
Whatever it is.
Big League Chew.
Big League Chew. Yeah. I would not doubt that Big League Chew sponsored this.
I'm pretty sure there's a moment where they go through the ball pen and everyone's chewing tobacco and he's chewing Big League Chew.
I think that is.
They're all
yeah,
spitting,
they're all spitting and it's gross. Yeah.
Yeah.
I think that's
okay, so they sign him in with the Cubs.
Mm-hmm.
I remember, not that this is important, but I do remember they do a Wizard of Oz type joke.
Yes, when he first goes to practice.
He goes to, it's like day one practice.
Yeah.
And he goes up, knocks on the door, and the guy opens the
C
little...
in the Cubs.
The C, and he's like, who are you? And he's like, I'm here to, pitch for the Cubs. And he's like, well, come on in.
I didn't just say that before. Yeah.
He does the exact line from The Wizard of Oz. Yeah. And so he goes in. He's trying to get accustomed to locker room lifestyle. Weirdly naked men in towels.
Yeah.
Is Gary Busey hurt as the pitcher? Does he replace a hurt pitcher?
He's on his way out of MLB, basically.
Okay.
He's
for some reason I thought he was just like a replacement for the momentary time.
Gary Busey is like the pitcher that was good, but now he's in his you should retire phase.
Well, every time he pitches, he always his shoulder's bad. So
which isn't. I mean, that's very likely for a pitcher who's pitching 90 pitches.
Which is why, that's why he's on the outs of his career. Is his shoulder's going, and he's already had some surgeries, I think, on it. They established or something, and so they're always like, "You're worthless. Get out of here." And he's like, "I got more baseball left."
Yeah, it's like he's got something to prove.
Yeah,
but he also he's very defensive all the time. He's defensive towards this kid too.
Yeah.
So,
but I mean, at first, I think it's this kid's coming in to replace him, and it's going to be the new star pitcher of the team.
Yeah,
and at the same time, the kid comes in and is Gary Busey's character is the baseball player that he's looked up to forever, his favorite.
Right.
And he can't believe he gets to meet him. And Gary Busey's like, "Get out of here, kid. I don't need you."
So the first game happens and he's pitching and everyone is waiting for it to happen, right? Seeing how good this kid is.
Right.
So,
the stands are packed. Mm-hmm. It's the talk of the town.
I think this is where he throws the ball so hard that he knocks the catcher, rolls him back. Hits the catcher so hard with the ball.
I think he hits a batter. The first batter up.
Oh, yeah.
The first batter up is kind of
he doesn't he has the speed but not the accuracy.
Exactly.
Right.
This first batter that's up, he's kind of like Bluto from Popeye in a way. He's this monster. Mm-hmm. He's got chewing tobacco too. He's spitting. Yeah. He's sniffing and all these gross manly things. He's trying to intimidate the guy. And so he does a couple like wild pitches.
He beans a lot of the,
and then he ends up completely like hitting this guy with the ball.
Right.
And he has the speed. He just doesn't have the rest of the formula.
Yeah,
down.
and he's really nervous because he's out there his first time, and the crowd's
he's
huge.
A 15-year-old,
what am I doing?
Yeah,
playing Major League Baseball.
Right. Yeah.
Possibly in middle school, possibly high school.
Does he ever have to bat in the film?
Yes,
he does.
He does.
Okay, I'll wait a little bit. I was just curious.
That happens near the end.
All right.
So basically, now we're in the point of where they're going to games. He's pitching here and there. He's becoming kind of accustomed to that type of lifestyle.
Is Gary Busey warming up to him at all?
There is a scenario that I kind of remember where it may be after like the first or second game that he's in, where his friends and his mom come there to watch, and Gary Busey kind of meets the mom.
Oh,
and
yeah.
Gary Busey's kind of like,
he's like, oh, now
that's
I got to
the
get nice
new
to the
love
kids
interest
so
of
I
the
can
this
bang
mom's
the
got
mom.
that butt.
I want to get with that
She got it
mom.
going, you know.
So
I want to show her my fastball.
exactly, like this is that kind of moment where Gary Busey's like, okay, maybe I should warm up to this kid because he's got such a great mom, and I don't know if that happens like right away.
Do they go on a date in this film? Did the
Gary Busey and the kid?
The mom? No. Maybe the kid. I think Daniel Stern probably go on a date with the kid.
Oh yeah.
So
that type of Daniel Stern.
Also, the girl that showed up that he likes keeps coming to the games with her mom too. And
I don't remember her and her mom. I remember the girl
his
he
mom,
likes
rather
has her own trio that she's a part of.
Okay.
Which like mirrors Daniel's trio of friends. But yeah, she like has come to at least one game, and she came and he was like, "Oh my god, it is the girl."
I'm pitching in front of Vanessa today.
Yeah.
And, so
I kind of don't remember this, but I would believe that it happened.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Well, I feel like the pitching coach guy, or it might have been the coach for the team, the manager, who told Gary Busey's character that he needs to start helping Daniel be a better pitcher, and they're like, in exchange for like getting to play more and still being on the team, they're like, you need to teach him.
That's what happens. He tells him that he needs to start teaching him how to be a better pitcher, and I think they're kind of practicing after a game at night, and the mom comes up and the other two kids, and they get to meet the Rocket, and that's when he meets the mom.
Yeah.
Going back a bit, does he lose the first game that he's a pitcher in? Because he beans too many people? Is that like a thing that happens? And then they go on like a winning streak after that? Does he...
It's possible that happened. It's also possible that he pitched a couple and then he got...
really good all of a sudden?
No, then he got like pulled and someone else came in.
That could be.
Right.
It's possible that they were just trying to feel it out at first.
I see.
Like they wanted to see how well John Candy would give some great commentary as the sports announcer.
Oh, I forgot about that.
John Candy is in
John Candy
this.
is the announcer for
is
the
he
Cubs.
A solo announcer? Or is there...
I think he is.
John Candy only goes solo. Okay, so they're doing, home games, away games. I know there's a lot of like elements with like, there's one sequence of them at a hotel preparing for the next game.
Yeah.
And Daniel Stern's kind of showing him the ropes. About like
Put the Vaseline on the ball?
Something like that. I don't know. Like I think he's.
Honestly, it's important for him. The big lesson you need to learn is about hot ice.
Yes. He heats up the ice.
You heat up
the
the ice cubes because it's the best.
It's the best of both worlds. Yeah,
that's like the big takeaway from this film. And I think that's the life lesson you need to know is hot ice.
There's a little bit of a science behind that, where hot water freezes quicker than cold water.
Okay,
so he might not have been 100%
crazy.
He just might have been a little crazy.
But he's eating his sunflower seeds,
Right.
Was that what he was eating?
Yeah.
He's just eating a lot of stuff.
He's constantly eating like seeds.
I feel like there's a scene too in the hotel where he's eating a lot of shrimp.
There's always something in
You're right.
Daniel Stern always has something in his mouth. Yeah.
Daniel Stern has this kind of Sigmund Freud oral fascination. Okay, so what happens after that, basically?
So they have their montage where he's
winning a lot of games.
But at the same time, it means that he's doing more stuff. Like he starts getting promotional deals. Like he does a commercial shoot. At some point.
Okay.
I think it's for Pepsi, and it involves him pretending to play the piano and all these ladies around and stuff. And so
You got the right one, baby.
The Ray Charles.
Yes.
Pepsi
Yes, he
commercial.
recreates that one.
And so then the conflict becomes he's spending all his time playing baseball and doesn't see his friends anymore.
Oh yeah, they get
And they're
jealous.
upset and jealous because
it's like
he's never around for the
baseball,
boat.
he's kinda,
Yeah.
it's all
And-
about
Oh yeah,
marketing.
there's a part where the boat's like almost done, and he wasn't there to be there. For
He
the launch
was
of it.
supposed to show up.
Oh, yeah.
Yes,
He's
that's
supposed
right.
to be there for
He was
the
supposed to be
scene.
there so they could take the
there.
boat out.
And he showed up. I think he showed up like maybe like an hour or two
Because of the commercial
late.
shoot, I think. He was at the
Yeah.
shoot really late.
Yeah,
And-
so he showed up late, and they were all like, "No, we fixed the boat on our own," and they
Yeah,
got
we
like
didn't
really
need
upset.
you.
Yeah,
Yes, because they were
upset
putting
with
like the
him.
engine on or
Yeah,
something. They
you're
just
better
got
than
the
us,
engine.
so.
Yeah,
And they were putting it on. That was like the big thing. And so yeah, that becomes the conflict then, is that his friends are mad at him. And yeah, he's becoming like a corporate baseballist.
Yeah,
exactly.
he's a sellout.
Sellout.
Yeah, that's
There
right.
it is.
Yeah.
And because the stepdad manager guy is trying
Oh,
to like
he
get
wheels and
he's
deals
doing
it.
as much as possible. Like he's trying to get him to make all this money.
So at this point, the Cubs are doing really well.
Yes.
Yes.
They're on a high, riding out this 14-year-old pitcher.
As the Cubs are wont to do.
Yeah, the Cubs have to turn to something when they have nothing.
Do they get to the World Series, or do they just get to the playoffs?
They get to the playoffs, I'm pretty sure. I don't know
Yeah,
if they get all the way to the
definitely.
World Series, but I know they get to the playoffs for sure. And like I don't know if it's right before they get to the playoffs is when like he has to handle his friends more too, where he like I just remember I remember a scene where like they get mad at him for not being there for the boat, and then I remember him basically apologizing to them.
Yeah.
And like he comes back to the boat, which apparently his friends do nothing but sit at this boat that's in like
Yeah.
the forest.
Yeah, they're
most
all
important
about
thing
that
for them.
boat life.
all about that boat. So they're out there, and he comes in. He's just like, "Hey, sorry about working for a living, unlike you freeloaders." And they're like, "It's cool." And then they get on the boat and fire it up, and that boat produces way too much smoke and exhaust.
yeah.
And I'm really worried they have cancer.
Oh.
But they go on that boat and it goes.
So is the scene kind of this where like he shows up late, they're angry at him, he apologizes, and then they finally accept him and
I
they
think
go
it's
on the
two
boat?
separate scenes.
Two separate
Yeah,
scenes.
Where
okay,
he
too.
shows up, they get mad, and like he leaves, and they're like, "Go, get out of here, we don't need you." And and the group dynamic with his friends is that there's him, then there's the other like alpha kind of kid, and then there's the little kid in their group who's like, "Come on, guys, just get along."
Exactly. I almost feel like those two kids were like brothers in a way.
I don't know if they ever specify that or not,
Yeah.
but there's the smaller one is trying to get them to be nice, and then the older one is mad.
Is
at
there
them.
a possibility that these kids are figments of his imagination?
Ooh.
Oh, man.
Because you never see their parents or anything
Yeah.
else.
That could be.
They just kind of exist.
Do they talk to anyone else in the film?
I think
Other than
I think
him?
they do talk to
Do they
the
interact?
love interest
When-
of
when
the main character.
they-
But is she fake? Is she
When they
exist?
take the boat out for the
Ooh.
first time, they're driving it. They drive past the beach and they see the girl and her two friends on the beach, and they're like, "Come on, get in the boat!" So then they're all getting cancer, driving around the lake in this boat and having fun, splashing at each other and doing all sorts of fun things together.
Come on, get in the
with
boat. We got
girls.
cancer going on.
So and so they all pair up, and I have to wonder if either of these groups kind of talked amongst themselves beforehand of being like, "Okay, that one's mine."
yeah.
And, yeah.
Like calling
I think it was always like the height always dictated who you were with.
It did seem
you
to
know?
be the case. They
The
all
Alvin
kind of
and the
matched up
Chipmunk
because it was
thing?
like the smallest one in each group.
There were
could be
3
paired
girls,
up.
right?
Yes.
Okay.
So they all paired up, and it was kind of according to height.
Yeah.
I mean, that makes sense.
But
that's the only way
so
to
then they
date
all
these
drive around in the
days.
boat, and that's like right leading into the playoff games.
Yeah, so they go to the playoff games.
Everything is good now. His friends are on board with him being.
Yeah. The mom,
Good at
I believe there's a sequence too before the playoffs happen where the mom kicks the stepdad
Oh
in
yeah,
the nuts.
that has to happen.
Yes.
Right.
Oh
in the
yeah,
balls.
there's a
down the,
serious
nuts,
nut
down the
shot.
stairs in front of their house. That's right. Well, and it was. I think part of it was right then. It was like right at the beginning of the playoffs or something. They were trading him to the Yankees
Oh.
for a ton of money.
Oh man.
And
Oh.
it was doing. They were
Yeah.
doing it in secret, and it was like
Oh, yeah.
the grubby GM
Right.
guy and the manager, stepdad guy.
Okay.
Were had made this agreement to
because
trade him to
they
the
think
Yankees.
he can get even
Yeah.
more money.
Right.
Right?
Yeah,
It's all a
yes,
greed
It
factor.
is. It is. So because the GM guy's like, as the manager, you get 10%,
Ooh.
and enunciates that
Whoa.
really well. I just remember that.
Could be a lot of money.
And so then they're like, oh man, play for the Yankees and make all this money. And Daniel's like, but I like the Cubs. Plus I live here. Plus I'm like 14. I can't just go play for the Yankees.
I have to go to high school.
There are logistics involved with this.
And that's when that's when the stepdad's having the argument with Daniel about it in like the house, and he's just like, I am your manager or something. And
he either like
or I'm your dad, like you're maybe not my dad.
Screams at him and yells at me. Yeah,
does he like hit him or something?
No.
He doesn't get to that point.
I don't think he does. Like I think he's yelling at him and telling him like, "How dare you not listen to me?" And the mom is like, "That's my kid." And
exactly. The mom steps up. Yes. Like, I mean, the mom arguably is the most awesome.
She's
mom
totally awesome.
Yeah, she's super cool,
very supportive.
Oh yeah, she was great,
extremely supportive.
Yes.
And this is the moment where like
very much not like the parents from Blank Check,
right?
You know?
This mom is really positive and awesome and on board.
It's this moment where she's like a working mom,
single mother raising this kid.
She has a boyfriend or maybe it's his.
I don't remember if they're. I don't know if they're married or if they're.
I think it's probably like a boyfriend.
Yeah.
And there may be some elements to this manager position that like she isn't seeing behind the scenes.
Yes.
And this is like the first moment where she's finally like is cued into this guy's real character.
Yeah, his real motives is to make money off of kids.
Yeah,
and he doesn't really care about Daniel. He just wants to make money.
Yeah.
It's like she's never seen this before, and she finally steps up and definitely like either clocks him or a nut shot or something.
No, she totally wails him, and he falls down the stairs or something, and then Daniel's like, "All right, Mom," and she's like, "That felt so good." After like really hurting this guy.
Yeah.
He deserved it.
Yes.
So now let's jump into either this playoff game or
the last playoff game or the World Series game.
So now they get into the playoffs.
I think it's the World Series. Well,
and now the mom's freed up to go date the Rocket.
Here's the thing, though. They only play one game, and we know with baseball, if they're in the World Series, they're playing 7 games. A best of 7 situation.
Well, that was always the taboo with baseball films. They never really...
Even in the playoffs, they're playing, best of 4 games?
Yeah, right.
Or 5.
It has to be like just a playoff.
That's why I don't think it's the World Series. I feel like it's...
just the conference.
I feel like it's like a playoff game or something, because the climax becomes, can he finish that one last game?
Right.
Yeah.
Without the arm.
Because he re-injures it.
Yes.
How does he re-injure it?
The same way he injured the first time.
He trips on another ball?
He trips on a baseball and re-injures his shoulder.
It's during the game.
Yeah.
Okay. Oh, right. So
he's running to the pitcher's mound, and he slips on the ball on the way there.
Okay, so the Rocket has been pitching probably, right, for the first half of the game.
He pitched for some. He did some pitching,
right.
but
and then he gets called out, and Daniel comes in to pitch. And as he's running out, he's pitching.
He trips on another baseball.
He trips on another
kind
baseball.
Of like Daniel's playing this kind of like.
How often is there a loose ball on the field in a
professional baseball game? You'd think
there would never be a loose ball on the field.
Someone literally dropped the ball.
It's as if people don't know of like the phrase "all balls in," which is like throw all the balls into the catcher so they can collect them and not have to deal with this.
Right.
Potentially dangerous situation that happens twice in the movie.
So now he loses his power to throw a really fast ball.
Yes.
Right.
Yeah. So all of a sudden
he has to come up with new tricks.
Here's the question, though.
Oh, yeah, he fails first, right? He throws a couple that are bad.
All of a sudden he throws it and realizes he doesn't have it anymore.
They don't even get to the mound, I don't think. He throws them too weak or something like that.
Yeah. And he's throwing them all over the place.
The logistics of this doesn't make sense in my head. So in the beginning of the movie, he slips on a ball, breaks his arm, he gets the cast off, and he can throw better than any pitcher.
Yes.
He runs out onto the field at the end of the movie, slips on the ball, and loses the power, but doesn't break his arm?
No.
Well,
how does he lose his power?
The way they kind of magic wand it in the movie is they're like, something about the way the cartilage healed. So I guess the idea is he falls and like breaks the cartilage.
Yeah.
So instead of a bone, it's the cartilage or something. I feel like that's what they talk about.
What?
It does no look. It's movie magic hand waving, 100%.
So he has to figure out, how am I going to get these strikes to happen?
Yes.
And he has to pull.
Yeah, he has to turn into like weird sneaky tricks.
Yeah, he uses like magic tricks to like to get strikes, right?
Yeah.
Like the catcher already has the ball and like tags the runner out or something like that.
That was a big moment.
Even as a kid watching this film, I was like, can you do that. Like, that does not look like it. I feel like that's against the rules.
I feel like it's the moment where
I don't know.
he
If
has
it
to
hasn't
get
happened yet, there's probably no rule.
he has to get 3 outs, right, to make it happen.
Yes,
Like,
and
this is the time.
and like the very last guy that comes up is that huge, scary
yeah, we
guy
saw him from
that he
earlier.
first pitched against.
Okay.
Like that
Yeah.
super
Got
huge
from the
guy.
Yankees, probably.
And,
I'm sure.
Yeah, probably. But yeah, so the very last person he has to pitch against with like 2 outs, and yeah, he has to go up against the huge dude.
Yes.
How does
So-
he get him out? How does he get that guy out?
He doesn't. He manages to throw, like, he gets 2 fouls. So it's 2 strikes against, and the very last pitch, the dude hits it, and then it's like, is it a home run or is it a foul ball? Because it's right down the foul line.
Okay.
I remember
So
that.
They go to the video.
So there's the dramatic where they're all like, fair, 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 foul, 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 and then it goes
Yes.
foul.
Everyone's watching it on TV. The mom's watching it in
Yeah.
the stands.
Okay.
And it goes
Fair, fair,
foul.
fair, foul, foul, foul. Fair, fair, fair.
And so he's still not out then, because it's just another foul ball.
Right.
So he gets another chance.
Yeah.
So,
But this is where they have that kind of like group meeting or whatever
Yeah.
it is.
or
No.
They go to the mound.
no, it's
Because I was trying to dial it back to the moment where they tricked that one guy with the trick ball thing.
oh no,
He's
yeah,
got
that
the-
was a different batter.
Yeah, that's a different.
Got
out.
it. So that was the second strike. I don't know how the first strike happened or the first out happened.
Right. Me neither.
So
Probably another magic trick of some kind.
And I feel like it comes down to like he throws the one pitch that he's bad at, like they're like he can't throw a curveball or something, and he manages to throw one and strikes the guy out.
Just magically, he's able to throw a Major League Baseball
Yes,
quality pitch at.
I mean,
the
this is
guy.
like it's actually him being like average Joe being able to throw this pitch.
And so I feel like that's how he ends up getting the last guy out. We could be totally
And
wrong,
they celebrate like they won the World Series.
That's and I wonder if they're both like, oh, thank God we got out of this one game without our magic 14-year-old pitcher.
Does he still have to bat at that point, or did he already bat like before these 3 outs happened?
In the last game, he has to bat.
He does have to bat.
Is it
And I
after
know
the
this
outs
is-
or before?
And this is where I think it's the World
this is before
Series.
it.
Okay.
This is why I think it's the World Series because in one so I think baseball is like split up into 2 different leagues.
Yeah.
What there's like the
American League and the National League.
So one of those leagues the pitchers have to bat.
Yes.
And the other one the
National
pitchers
League,
don't
the
have
pitchers
to.
bat. American
Oh.
League, they do not.
And so this
That's
is why I
weird.
think it's the
Yeah, I
World
know.
Series because it's a National League versus American League.
Okay.
And that's why he has to go
Suddenly
up to bat.
he has to actually. And then I remember him being like, "What do you mean have to bat?" And then I remember him being scared of the ball. Like he ducks
sure.
at one point. Like the first pitch, he's like, "Ah."
His strike
and the
zone's
guy's
gotta
like,
be
you
weird,
can actually
right?
step into the batter's box.
Yes, that's
Right.
right.
Yeah.
And yeah, but his batter's box is so small that I think he gets walked.
I think he bunts
I
it.
don't know.
Does he?
I thought he
maybe
bunted
he
the
does,
ball.
and it's like a weird scramble to get one more run in.
Yeah.
Oh no, because he ends up like getting chased, like chasing another.
Does he get in the pickle?
He ends
Oh,
up.
he is in a
gets
pickle.
pickled?
No, he's like on first. I think he gets walked, and then another guy hits it, and is like right behind him, telling him to run because they're all running like, really
that was
fast.
a great
Yeah.
scene.
He's like, "Go, go, go!" And
Go.
the 2 of them are like neck and neck because
He's trying to run, but he can't run faster than this other
So
guy.
they both
Right.
they both score, and it's
Yeah,
amazing.
and they both have to get their hand on home plate at the last shot. They're like,
Right.
and they
One
get,
goes like under
2
the
runs in
catcher
or
and
something.
above the catcher.
So basically, the end of this is they win the World Series
Right.
or whatever. Cubs haven't won the World Series in 100 years or whatever it is, 90 years.
And then I feel like the movie just ends because baseball movies never have an ending after the game.
I feel like there's the ending.
yeah, I mean, like the ending is the success, right?
Him just being lifted up on the field, or the same with in a cover where he's
Yeah.
I can
being
imagine
held
this. I can imagine the movie ends with like a freeze frame.
up. Oh man.
Oh,
Like, they
I
lift
feel like
him
a
up and
jumping
they-
celebration freeze frame.
Freeze frame,
If
yeah.
It's a 90s movie.
If I were to guess, I'd say this for sure ends with the freeze frame.
Yeah, that'd be my guess. Without, obviously having revisited this movie
You know,
in
like
so long. That's what I would
all
expect.
the elements have basically been wrapped up. The stepdad's gone. He's no longer going to be
The
a
grubby
Cubs
GM guy
pitcher.
gets fired by the owner.
Gary
when he
Busey
finds
and the
out
mom
about
get
Yankees
together,
trade.
I think.
Yeah,
Or
they
hug or
kind of
something.
they at least allude to that. So
Yeah.
everything's pretty much wrapped up.
Yeah.
The game, they win the game, and then I think that's pretty much
That
it.
just fades out with a freeze frame.
Yeah, you want to end on a high. You
I
don't
think
want
it
to
does.
like have to.
I think you're
try
right.
to explain yourself.
It
or...
ends with him celebrating with the team. Yeah.
All right.
Yep. I'll buy that.
All right. So we're gonna watch the film and see what we got wrong and see what we didn't and see what we missed.
I hope this one's not that bad because I consider
Yeah.
myself very well versed in this film.
We'll find out. We'll find out. We definitely don't.
We're
have
gonna
the
come
name
back
of
and be
the
like,
guy.
so it turns out he played for like the Blue Jays. I don't remember that at all.
Brickma is the pitching coach.
Now,
key to being a big league pitcher is the 3 R's. Readiness, recuperation, and conditioning. You see, after the game, a lot of guys like to ice up their arm. Still other fellas think that heat is the way to go. But I have discovered the secret, Henry. Hot ice. That's right, hot ice. I heat up the ice cubes. It's the best of both worlds.
All right, so we just got done watching Rookie of the Year, and I have to say that this was a really good movie, and the mom was actually awesome in the film. She was positive the whole way.
She was very supportive.
She supported the kid. And she had a creepy moment in the beginning where she kind of like flirts with one of the little boys.
She was laying it on a little hard.
Yeah.
Well, because she's like, "Hi, Roger."
Hi, Roger.
Yeah, like she went out of her way to give like a special hello.
I definitely wasn't sure if she was like into that kid.
This might just be me coming off of blank check still, but like I'm just ready for this.
Yeah.
But
so we thought his name was Daniel. It is not. It's Henry. Henry Rowan Gardner.
Rowan Gardner.
Something like that.
Not Gardner.
Gardenhoser.
Yeah, there's the coach says it 6 different ways.
That's like one of my favorite recurring bits throughout the
It is a
whole
good
thing.
Yeah, it's really, and he says it right at the end, like when he needs to call it the right name.
when everything's on the line.
Mm-hmm.
For all the marbles.
He calls them the right way, and I had it wrong. I don't know what movie had it, but nobody is hiding out by like a flagpole, which I thought happened in this film. That has to be a different movie.
I swear to God, I feel like that's from Angels in the Outfield.
I think it's Angels in the Outfield.
Yeah.
Another baseball film.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure that
came out pretty much like the same time, or like a year later.
Yeah, I mean, a lot of all these kids' sports movies all came out at like once.
Yeah.
It was riding that gravy train, you know?
Mm-hmm. We also we figured out what the dad finally was. And he's not dead, he was just like a deadbeat dad who left his mom.
Yeah, he's a character that's talked about but never seen.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, the mom makes it sound like that she was like a teen mom or something. Like she got pregnant really young and they were not ready for that and that he just sort of left.
But the whole movie, she's like talking about how great his dad is, though. So she wants to keep him positive in the kid's eyes. But
she's a great mom.
Yeah.
Yeah, so there's like the whole storyline of the dad is that he was a great baseball player, and that's what the son believes. But then when we get to the ending point, we realize that it's really the mom.
The mom was the great baseball player because when at the end he looks down in his glove and peels off a piece of tape and it says her name in the glove.
Which I had to wonder, does that mean he's been playing Major League Baseball with a softball glove the whole time? Because she was a softball player. Like, do they have regulations on what kind of?
I don't know. Is there a different size for a softball mitt? There's got to be.
Yes, yeah, they are different. I don't know if it's a significant difference. I didn't play enough sports as a kid, I guess. But
how many mitts would a baseball player go through in like a season? Would they use the same one?
I'd expect them to use the same one for a season.
I'm sure they probably have a couple that they swap out.
Sponsored ones that they
I am
have
used to like in professional sports, like in tennis or something, where like they're going through a racket every like 10 seconds. They're like, new racket, why not?
Yeah, or like hockey where they're going through sticks like crazy. Yeah, I would imagine that a baseball mitt lasts a little while.
Yeah, well, and you want to break them in. You don't want it to be a brand new mitt all the time.
Yeah.
I'm wondering if there's a baseball player that's used the same mitt for multiple
I bet
years.
there is.
That's some kind of thing for him.
Yeah, so you gotta have your lucky mitt.
We also were talking about, does this take place during school? And it does.
Yeah, it sure does.
Yes.
I thought there wasn't even a school at all in the film, but there's definitely a school.
There's
That's
like it plays kind of a big part in the beginning.
It takes place both during school, but also during summer.
It kind of skips the summer. It starts at the end of one school year.
Yeah, because he injures his hand, and that takes through all of summer as him just having the injury.
Because he goes to the doctor, and the doctor's like, yeah, you'll have to be in the cast for like 3 months.
Until August or something.
And he specifically is like, oh, the whole summer's ruined.
And then it basically just cuts to
him getting the cast.
Yeah, you get a couple like shots, and then it's like August, summer's over.
I mean, they did a little mini montage of like funny bits in the cast, like because he has it at this 90-degree angle, which I don't think is how that cast would be normally
I feel
done.
like the blood flow would not.
Yeah, because he's definitely like it's in a hand raised position, which is one of the jokes is that he's in class and then every kid raises their hand, which never happens in school. like one person always raises
Either
their
that
hand.
question was really easy, or just they're in like a super smart school.
And then everyone puts their hands out, and the teacher like does a double take because his hand is still up because apparently the teacher can't figure out he's in a cast.
So what you're saying is the funky butt-loving doctor
Yes.
is playing Frankenstein
Oh my gosh.
by testing out a theory on
he's like, I'm
see if it can happen.
doctors for years have been doing casts wrong, and I'm going to prove them right. I mean, I guess in a way he proved that he can give the kids superhuman abilities.
Yeah, this movie feels like a superhero movie to me, where like kid gets like a special ability that gets him fame and fortune, and just separates him from older kids.
It really does. Like his injury and eventually his ability separates him from his childhood, basically.
Right.
It's kind of like the story is he's thrown into this adult world.
Yes, and
where he's a kid among adults.
Yep.
And,
and among Daniel Stern, who's also a kid.
Who's a kid.
He's a kid.
Who's a clown, basically.
Who I didn't realize also directed this film.
Yeah, he did.
Yeah.
His only director credit.
And it's a great, like, well-made film.
Yeah, I was surprised. Like, I don't know why he didn't get other kids' movies.
Yeah, he just
throughout the 90s.
He had an in to shoot in the Cubs Stadium. And
I will say, though, I remember this movie being a lot better when I was a kid. This time, I stopped it a couple times because I was just like,
It's
it was
long.
too
It's a long
long.
film.
It is. You could easily cut like 30 minutes out of this film. I feel
It was like almost like a 2-hour movie.
It didn't have as many montages as some of the other 90s films we've seen, but it was still, I mean, a long film, which, I mean, and a lot of it was just gags that, I mean, they're gags, and I get you want to have them in there, but could have been cut.
I think Daniel Stern stuck inside that closet.
That
Should not have been cut.
Wait, when he's in the closet at the end, or stuck between the two doors
Both
of the
of
hotel?
them should still be in the film.
Because they both need to be in this film.
Yeah.
Daniel Stern got stuck in everything.
Yes, and that's one of the best. One of my favorite shot of the film is when he gets stuck between double doors at the hotel.
Yeah.
And there's like a camera looking down, and he just looks up and yelling for help.
Yeah, that was definitely a classic
That's like
bit.
my favorite shot of the whole movie, and it's for
Daniel
a silly
Stern's
door
character
gag.
literally makes no progress.
He
No.
doesn't have any growth, and they even talk about him like he's some sort of like handicapped guy. Like the coach is like, well, I don't know, I met him in college. He's been following me ever since.
Yeah, I'd agree that he's a terrible pitching coach, and that's like his main job.
And I remember the coach saying something like, "Oh, I played with him back in the minors, and he's been following me ever since." Is that how you get jobs?
I guess when you work for the Cubs, and they're specifically like historically one of the worst teams.
Yeah, but
no
why
one really
would they?
cares.
Why would they employ a really bad pitching coach?
Because they feel bad for him. They're like, oh god, it's just this guy, you know.
Yeah, when he's there's a montage of him batting, and he's just goofing around, having a fun time. He hits a ball, it goes up in the air and hits him back on the head.
Yep.
3 times.
He just
3 times. That's probably contributing to his terrible mental awareness.
I did like that bit though.
Oh, it was,
Yes, all the Daniel Stern bits, they were like goofy and funny, and I definitely really enjoyed them.
The only thing I did not understand was at the ending when he's stuck in that cage while the actual
baseball game's going on.
Yeah, the baseball game's going on. He starts rattling that cage, and I couldn't tell, based on his acting, I couldn't tell if he was like struggling to get out or if he was excited.
I think he's just excited, but as a kid, I thought he was just trying to get out. Because he gets stuck in like a supply closet.
He's having a seizure during that sequence.
And that part is foreshadowed because in the beginning when we first meet him, the door that he's in like slides shut a little bit and he catches it.
He catches it right before it
we
shuts.
know that's a faulty door. That was
I feel like that door needs to like through OSHA should have like a release on the inside.
You would think it wouldn't be that hard to open an unlocked cage? How do you?
I guess it's always locked, but wouldn't
you can't
he
reach
have the
around and
key?
grab,
and
open it.
I mean, I don't know as much about reach arounds, but
Hey, that's a whole nother. It's a horse of a different
He
color.
also, Daniel Stern's character, I know we're just
He's
focusing
like
he's not the highlight of this film. I don't care about Gary Busey. I don't care about the kids. It's all about Daniel
There's
Stern.
about
in
30
this movie.
things that we got wrong that we need to correct.
So he also has this like with Blank Check as well. This fascination of food. It's just focused on food. He's chewing gum constantly,
eating seeds.
He's like talking about
And
like
they even
plain
have like
food.
a similar buffet, like take a bunch of food thing.
Yes.
And he has an airplane concoction that he makes, right?
Yes.
Where he's, like, eating.
No, they're eating on the plane. He's like, see this dessert from my airplane food. I put it in my barf bag and save it for later.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I was like, it's an airplane dessert.
Yeah, and
guy.
you're a professional baseball player. You can afford to
I'm
buy.
sure they pay
Also,
you
that's
enough.
not a lesson that anyone cares to know.
But like I said, Blank Check taught us to bring bags to the buffet, and like when they have the after party and they go there, and he's like, it's all free, and they're like, in addition to the pinball table, they see what seem to pay over a.
I guess I can gather people couldn't afford food in 1993.
It was all about you had to
Yeah.
scrimp and save. It was.
Yeah, there's a bit where Daniel Stern and Henry are walking around a party, and there's two beautiful women just like standing around, and you think like they're gonna flirt with them, but Daniel Stern just tells them to move, and behind them is a pinball table. And he just goes to town on the pinball,
best,
like shaking it
great
around.
Daniel Stern gag where he's like, "Excuse me, ladies," and they get excited.
Yeah.
Which is a little weird because again, it's like a goofy guy and a kid.
Yeah.
But I feel like those ladies shouldn't be excited by having them say "excuse me."
There's a couple moments in that movie where adults are flirting with children.
Yeah, I mean, this may just be residual blank check disease.
Yes.
But I feel like I'm just oversensitive to this now.
Okay, so we didn't quite figure out. We thought that was a stepdad that was hanging out with the mom. It was just a boyfriend.
Yeah, they do say like in the beginning of the movie they were only dating for 3 weeks.
It was like their 3 week anniversary.
3 week
right in the
anniversary. And then so we assume that once it's the end of summer, they've been dating for probably, I don't know, 4 months or something like that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There's a bit where he just has like a really tiny car. And
That's
just
yeah.
the whole thing.
Yeah.
That's a bit where I feel like they were trying to play more of that and then ended up cutting it. Because there's like 2 scenes where he's sort of struggling to get in and out of this little tiny car he has. But it's like, but they're all really long shots. Like, I don't feel like it's supposed to be a gag.
And that outfit that he's wearing, the shirt that he's wearing when you first meet him is insane.
It makes no sense.
It is every color possible.
And they're all dark colors, so it's like subtly changing all the time, different dark colors. And it just screams 90s to me.
Yeah, and at first you think that... I think you kind of gather that he's like an okay guy, but he's kind of invading Henry's lifestyle a little bit, but not much.
Henry's supportive about her mom dating, just not this guy. That's
Right.
like the whole
Yeah.
But then greed really plays a factor into him becoming a villain.
This guy also kind of has almost a tragic story where he becomes a villain, but... It's like he's dating the mom. He seems like he's having a good time with the mom and the kid.
Yeah.
And then becomes Daniel's manager. And the greed sort of turns him into a bad guy. And also Gary Busey, because he gets jealous of all the attention that the mom is getting from Gary Busey's character and feels like he can't compete.
Right.
And that's one of the reasons he wants to trade Daniel to the Yankees.
Henry.
He's Daniel. He's Daniel.
Daniel Stern
He's supposed
is the
to
guy.
be a Daniel.
Yeah, there's a moment where he uses it as leverage. Like, you fire Gary Busey, and then I'll sell Henry to the Yankees.
Yeah, to the grubby GM guy.
Yeah. Was it to the Yankees? Oh yes, it was to the Yankees.
Who else is going to buy that kid for $1 billion?
They play the Mets in the end.
Yes.
So we didn't also figure out that there's actually another bit of stakes in this film where they have to sell out every single stadium game
Or they
for the rest of the
lose
season,
their
or they
franchise.
just lose their franchise.
To who?
I don't
understand
think
how that
that's how
works.
the MLB works. Where if you're like you didn't make enough money, so now your franchise is gone.
You didn't sell out every
Especially
single
when like
game.
the Cubs, who have been around for over 100 years, like it's not exactly a new team.
Yeah, it's like this is how capitalism works. You just lose the team officially, and they don't exist anymore.
It just means that the owner of the team makes less money. That's what that means. I don't think it has.
Yeah, I think they were just saying they can't afford all their bills because they're just not.
Maybe
they don't have enough people showing up.
But that was a really really weird kind of sub thing.
Yeah, it's just
subplot.
an extra little.
But that's why I put the pressure on them to try having a kid on the team.
Yeah, it's like
a
almost like a
gimmick.
stunt.
Yeah,
Exactly. They know it's not going to last for very long because he's just a kid, but it's something kind of fresh and new for the Cubs.
It's just a gimmick to try to sell some tickets.
Exactly.
I did learn that there is actually a minimum age limit for the MLB, which is 16. So Henry would not have been allowed to play.
Now, is this like 1993 current?
I was going to say,
because the maybe would have changed because of Henry.
Maybe this is called the Rookie of the Year rule. They're like, we don't want this to happen in real life.
Another thing, he never gets named Rookie of the Year. That never comes up inside the film.
You know what?
Like,
And
he wins that award.
And
for
honestly,
any reason.
so the timeline of the film is he joins the team in like August.
Right.
And plays for like 2 months.
2 months, sure.
Out of like baseball season, which is like all year long.
Yeah.
Baseball has like an 8 months long season.
Yeah, it's like April to October.
I'd be really pissed if I was an actual rookie who was like playing my first season and I lost my Rookie of the Year award to some kid who played 2 months for the Cubs. I'd be like,
who may not even be eligible.
Yeah.
How much time do you need in the league to be considered?
Right. I mean, that would upset me. Yeah. And then the kid's also like, I'm retiring.
And he plays the conference game, but he doesn't play the World Series, which the team ends up
winning.
winning.
Apparently the team wins.
Yeah.
But yeah, that was when we talked about what we were thinking the ending was. And we were kind of right. It does end on a freeze frame.
That happens.
Freeze frames with the ring pendant thing that says that they're world champs.
Yeah.
So he was there for 2 months. He
didn't play that World Series.
Is he still a part of the team even after his kind of he re-injures himself? Like, is he still a part of the team?
Yeah, I mean, all he did was he played the National League Division Championship, which is what they were playing for in the ending of the movie where he's playing for them. And yeah, the idea is that the movie specifically points out that Gary Busey, who was their star pitcher, is on his way out. His arm's busted. He can't pitch like he used to. So then they bring in this new rookie pitcher kid. Mm-hmm. His arm goes away by the end of the season. So now I have to assume they're left with no good pitchers, and yet somehow
win the
World
World Series. How did they squeeze out a win from this?
Maybe they found a 13-year-old who could pitch even better.
Oh, wow.
That's like they're
going
now.
even younger.
Yeah, so you got to get those seats filled, you know. But that was one of those things that confused me is how did they win the World Series after that when they pictured how much of a struggle it was for them to get out of like 2 innings of the National League Championships without Henry.
Right. But they, I don't know how that works.
Didn't quite work.
So, John Candy does have a buddy in the booth with him during his scenes.
Yes,
the
little technician guy.
Yeah, and John Candy's booth is always exploding. There's
always
sparks shooting out inside of his broadcasting booth.
So his buddy's always like tangled in wires because he's always trying to fix these old radios that are blowing up. Mm-hmm. And
I mean, it definitely seems that John Candy was really funny, and I'm sure he probably ad-libbed a couple things. Yeah. But he clearly just probably came in for one day.
Yeah, it seems like they could have knocked him out in like a day.
Yeah.
But yeah,
he has a favor.
Yeah, he was really funny. I really like his character in this film because I think it adds something that you needed. And I don't think I would have considered like a funny announcer when I'm making this film.
Yeah,
but he is really good, and
it's almost something that you might have forgot that he's in the movie. Yeah, and it was like a pleasant reminder when I saw it. I was like, oh yeah, he's in this movie.
But he is really good in this film.
Well, so we missed the friends having like a fight, and they're also not brothers. You said you thought they might be.
Oh yeah, the other two.
They're not brothers at all. And there's this little like scuffle that just like little kids have, but when Henry's late getting on the boat. And it's just like one of those things that you do when you're a kid. You just have fights with your friends.
You get all mad about one dumb thing.
And 3 hours later, you're best friends again.
Yeah. Right.
And that is definitely how it happened. Like, they're mad, and then they leave, and then, like, one scene later, to show up again at the boat, and they're like, I forgive you. But they say it by saying you want to get on the boat.
And you were totally right. That boat is shooting out so much smoke.
I'd be really upset if I was on the lake having a pleasant day and then these 3 little kids came by and polluted the whole lake with their boat.
Yeah, and they were all with their kind of significant
girls.
Others. Yes. And the 2 littlest ones are in the back.
The ones in the back inhaling all the wonderful fumes. I'm like, they for sure have cancer.
Yeah. I don't know if that was even like legal for them to do on that movie on the set.
I don't think it was real gasoline smoke. Probably a smoke machine.
Are you telling me that they had to act
in a film?
No.
So we also said maybe the stepdad hit Henry for some reason. That doesn't happen.
We knew there was a thing where the mom like gives him a good one.
Oh yeah, punches him right in the face.
Punches him right in the face, and we weren't sure if it was like a kick in the crotch or a punch in the face.
It's a punch in the face.
But it's a punch in the face.
And there's a terrible stunt double.
It's a really obvious stunt double down the stairs.
He could not. The original guy just didn't want to fall down the stairs. Apparently.
Yeah, but we were pretty much on with that. Where they're having a fight about Henry finds out about the Yankees and is telling the mom. The mom can't believe it, And she's like, how could you do this? He's my son. And the guy says, he's my client, as if that's more important.
Yeah, and the boyfriend during that scene his acting is awful. It's just terrible.
It's so off the charts. It's he
seems so indignant,
so
and he literally like points his finger in the air and says, "I am your manager."
It's like
he's a Shakespearean actor in that scene.
So funny. It is really out there. I mean, we also have really good there's also the acting where the mom is watching like the first away game on the TV while I guess she's working as like a gardener or something, like a horticulturist.
Yeah, she works at like a florist shop or something.
And so she's watching the game and like threatens her manager with her like pruning shears because he tells her to please keep working because she's at work.
Yeah, and this is one of my favorite scenes in the film because it cuts around it cuts to the ball pen, it cuts to her, cuts to Henry, and like they're all saying like because Henry's his first time up at bat and he's running bases.
Yes.
And everyone's saying, oh my god, oh my god, oh my god, oh my god, and cutting around different spots in the...
That was good. And I think we did mention that he gets walked because his batter box his strike zone is so small.
His strike zone, even the pitcher says his strike zone is too small or something like that.
Yeah, like there's no way I could pitch in there.
And then you have that funny bit where he gets on base, but then he's just
got a big butt.
Yeah, teases the pitcher mercilessly. Like they need a bullying campaign out there because that was mean.
And then the other guy comes up to bat and whacks the ball, and he's just so in awe by this
that he doesn't even run.
That he doesn't even remember that he's playing baseball.
The one thing he's doing in the moment.
So then this like really fit, full-size guy is right behind him telling him he needs to run faster, and they have the hilarious rounding the bases together.
Which was a good... I thought that was a funny
scene. There's a lot of good parts in this movie. Overall, I like this movie a lot.
I mean, it's definitely true. This movie's full of a lot of really funny scenes. It's just a little too long.
Mm-hmm. Yes, there's bits that drag and parts they didn't need. And I think there's a lot of subplots, and they didn't need a lot of subplots.
Yeah. They do explore a lot of different characters.
There's a lot of stuff I didn't get as a kid. Like the whole where the stepdad kind of becomes a villain, but isn't at the beginning. Like, I never picked up on that as a kid. I was always just like, oh, he's the mean guy.
Yeah.
But, watching this now, I'm like, oh, like, he actually kind of has character development where he becomes a jealous, greedy guy.
Right.
Which is kind of neat. Stuff I wouldn't have... I didn't realize was in this film.
There's a scene where Henry is making drinks in a limousine for Gary Busey and his mom.
After the away game.
Both excited about.
Yes, I remember this.
Trying to hook him up.
Yeah. He's just pouring club soda into a glass.
Yeah, the mom says, how did you learn how to do this? And he's just opening a club soda and pouring it into a glass.
Before she realizes that all he's using is club soda, she's only like mildly amused that he can somehow make cocktails because he offers, and she's like, where did you learn that? And then he's like, oh, it's just club soda. And I was like, I feel like as a parent I would have been like, what happened on this away game where you're learning cocktails?
But she is the coolest mom.
She is the coolest mom.
There was going to be one mom that was okay with it, was going to be her.
Yes, that's very true. She is the coolest mom.
So we didn't quite figure out how the 3 outs finally happened as soon as Henry loses his powers.
Yeah.
About what he does.
Right.
He gets one of the players off by doing some sort of dirty trick where he actually hands the ball to the first baseman, who was played by the janitor from Scrubs.
It is, that's right. And Neil Flynn is in this movie, which I didn't remember at all until, he pops up halfway through. And because he's the guy that tells Henry that he can't sit where he's sitting because the pitchers have their own little bench off to the side.
Right. What happens is he loses his power by slipping on a ball again.
Yeah, we had that.
Of course.
And then...
Because they just lay out there in baseball fields.
Yeah.
Random balls.
And then he realizes that he can't pitch, and so he calls like a team meeting.
Yep.
And they have this like crazy roundabout, like the camera's like going around the whole circle, and they're all talking like all at the same time too, which doesn't make sense.
Yeah, he calls a football huddle in the middle of a baseball game.
Just to pass off the ball to the first baseman.
They do the hidden ball trick, which is apparently a thing. I didn't realize it was an actual thing.
Yeah.
But even John Candy says like the hidden ball trick, and I didn't realize that was actually, I guess, a move,
right,
in baseball.
So that's how they get the first guy out, because the guy steps off the bag, and then Henry shows him that he just has that
chalk bag,
the chalk bag,
and the guy's like, "Oh no!" Gets tagged out.
In the second out, he does have the ball, but he's daring the runner to steal the base.
Yeah, that's right. Daring the guy who just got to first.
to go ahead and take the base because he walks both players because you just can't pitch anymore.
Right.
Yeah.
And I think you'd probably want to sub in a different pitcher at that point. That's going off the subject.
You would have thought, yeah.
That's going off subject.
But look, we've already established that those are the only two pitchers the Cubs have until the World Series.
Yeah.
Before they find pitchers.
Suddenly they're like, oh, that's right. We have a whole bullpen that's actually not too bad.
So he dares him to run, but he acts as if he's throwing the ball in the air, which he doesn't, and then he ends up running and tagging him out before he gets to second.
Yes.
Which seems ludicrous. Like, no one would do that.
Look, he insulted his pride.
Yeah.
I love the idea of that, like, just daring a guy to run in the championship, or the national championship, to the guy's gonna be like, I'm gonna do it.
And then the third one, we have this reoccurring character, this, like, kind of... I say that he looked like he's kind of like Bluto from Popeye.
Yeah.
Yeah, I could see that, yeah.
And he almost even his acting is
It's
like
out of control.
he's like a cartoon
He
character.
is cartoonishly evil. As
Right before he hits the ball, his tongue is just flying out of his mouth.
He's licking the corner of his
chops
mouth
to
like
hit that ball.
Yeah, he can't.
So
he's grinding his bat into sawdust
Yes!
while he's standing there.
So his first at bat at the beginning when Henry was became a pitcher, this guy crushes it out of the park. This is like his first time pitching.
Yeah.
So he meets him again at the end, and this time he tries to do some pitches.
He gets 2 foul balls.
Hits 2 foul balls, and then we realize this is the revelation that his mom was the baseball player that she was talking about all the time when referring to the dad.
Yeah.
And
There were 2 times earlier in the movie where she throws him sun lotion, like underhand, and I guess that's her like secret pitch style.
Yes.
And that's what he uses to
Yeah.
strike the guy
called
out.
the floater.
The floater,
Yeah,
that's right.
He floats the
Yeah.
ball up in the air.
Which Daniel Stern's character hasn't seen since Scuffy McGee.
The best,
And so
best name.
we have this sequence where Henry is talking to his mom, who is in the stands, and Henry's on the
100
pitcher's
feet
mound.
away.
Wow, yeah, they must have gone out there with like radio earpieces or something.
Yeah, and they have like
Because-
CB radios.
Because
And
they're
so-
totally having a whispered conversation across a baseball diamond.
And this is basically where Henry throws the ball underhand, and the guy cannot hit the ball because it's just it's such a
such an
wild
awkward
pitch.
Yeah.
He's a professional baseball player. He's never seen that pitch before, you know?
Right.
He just
But he
throws
gives it
right
his
down the middle.
best.
He
And he
tries.
misses.
Um,
And I guess they win the conference.
Yeah, and he ends up like crying like a little baby, too.
yeah, he literally.
Yes,
Turns
Yes,
into
it
a
is
child.
cartoonish acting on
He's
the ground,
pounding
pounding
his fist on the ground
Yep.
and kicking his legs.
crying. Yeah. Oh my gosh, that was. So yeah, and then we thought that's where it ended with a freeze frame of them like, oh, celebrate.
Yeah.
But no, it cuts back to Henry's back in school, playing on his little league team again.
Yep.
And I was confused because he's playing outfield.
Yeah.
And I feel like if you're on a little league team and you have had Major League Baseball pitching experience, in which he successfully threw like one changeup at least. So he managed to throw a successful Major League caliber changeup, and yet the coach put him in the outfield.
He was in the outfield in the beginning of the movie,
Yeah.
too. So I don't know, does he prefer the
I
outfield,
don't-
or did he just get pushed into being a pitcher?
Yeah, I guess he's really bad at everything at the beginning of the film. He's not good at baseball
Yes,
when
but
he starts.
he's good at the outfield by the end,
Sure.
because
He can finally
we
catch the
immediately
ball.
cut to him catching the ball
Right.
when a possible home run was going to happen.
Which again, as a pitching in the MLB, I feel like isn't going to give you fielding experience, like because they don't do a lot of fielding. Why is he now suddenly able to catch balls?
It's just because he missed it in the beginning and they just wanted a nice little
Yeah, I guess.
tied little bow.
I
at the end
think
of
it is irresponsible of their coach to not have him pitching, because if you have major league talent on your team,
Well, the coach was Gary
that's what
Busey.
Yeah.
it is.
Gary
Yeah,
Busey.
Gary Busey and his mom. I don't know which one of them was the coach or if they're co-coaching, but
Yeah.
they both seem to be coaching the team, and I thought that was pretty crazy too. So they came out on top in terms of little league performance, I guess.
Right.
And I was also curious to know if he's allowed to play little league now, because he's played professionally.
He's
Isn't that
obviously
an
playing
amateur
it,
sport?
so
Because there's, I
I-
mean,
he's
I
doing
don't know.
like once you're paid to play professionally, usually you can't go back to amateur sports.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah, that's like a big thing. I can't remember which famous athlete it was who crushed at everything, but like he played one season of like semi-pro baseball or something where he was compensated for something.
Michael Jordan did that.
And no, this is
but that was different sports.
But and then later he goes back and like plays in college and crushes it and is amazing and goes to the Olympics and wins a bunch of medals. And then they like took a bunch of awards away from him because they found out that he was like given like meal vouchers or something for playing one season semi-pro. But
I don't know. This is like
way
middle school.
This is very in depth for a '90s kid.
I don't think it would ever happen.
But
I don't think any of these things like there's no real life situation where we can actually figure this out. And see what the ruling is.
Overall, though, did the film hold up?
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I think so. My only gripe is that it was just a little too long.
Yeah, I do want to go back to one thing. There's the evil GM, manager guy who ends up getting fired because one of the owners finds out.
Demoted.
He's like
he's demoted into handing out hot dogs.
Yeah,
in this scene
right.
That seemed out of place. Like the editing, it was just kind of like thrown.
It does seem like something they maybe like filmed way after they finished the film.
Yeah,
every villain had to have a fall in that movie, I guess.
Which I love that actor. He's in Night at the Roxbury, but he's
Addams
also
Family.
Adam's Family.
Oh,
he's
man.
also in the first Coen Brothers movie, Blood Simple, and he's phenomenal in it. Very, very good.
Yeah, that was he's like snivelingly hawking hot dogs in the stadium after his uncle, I guess the owner of the team, finds out that he tried to trade Daniel.
And his uncle was from Home Alone 2.
Yes.
Right. You called that in the first part.
Yeah, so I mean it was full of like really the cast was like full of like really good people.
And the sets were great. They shot at real stadiums.
Gary Busey was really good in this movie.
This is before he went crazy.
Yeah, he was a very genuine actor. I felt like I was actually like watching a pro
I would
guy
say like this is one of his like most honest roles.
Yeah, it's really good.
Actor.
He has a good growth too, where he's kind of like bitter, but then softens up.
He kind of realizes he kind of comes to terms with the fact that his career is over. Yeah, and I thought that was interesting. I would definitely watch this again. Not soon, I think, but this is a movie I would definitely watch again. I really enjoyed it, and I think it also doesn't. The only thing in this film that like screams like a time frame at me, like where I'm like, oh, this is a '90s film, is the boyfriend's crazy shirt.
Yes.
Everything else, I feel like in this film, it doesn't matter how old this movie is, it still plays.
I did want to also say that this movie is based off of a 1954 movie called Rugi's Bump.
And what's the plot of Rugi's Bump?
Well, let me just read you the Wikipedia because it's only
I gotta hear this.
It's only 2 sentences. It says, a young boy who loves baseball develops a strange bump on his arm. The bump has such an effect on his pitching arm that he soon finds himself playing Major League Baseball.
Maybe it was Daniel Stern's favorite movie as a kid, and
Daniel Stern watched this movie and was like, "I need to do it better."
And
it's very possible.
Yeah.
When was Rugi's Bump?
When
50s?
did it come out?
Yeah,
1954.
54. Okay.
And the other thing that I immediately just thought of is it's possible that the old GM guy, was in this movie directed by Daniel Stern because he was also in Home Alone 2 where Daniel Stern was in it.
Yeah, that would make sense.
He's a great actor too. So.
He is very good.
He's and he's believable as like the old coot owner who's kind of crazy.
Yes.
All the acting is good. There's just 2 over-the-top performances by Daniel Stern and the baseball player. But everything else is pretty on the level.
Comically evil. Yeah. So overall, a good film.
Definitely.
I enjoyed watching this much more than Blank Check. I know it's Andy's favorite movie now.
I will say Blank Check was kind of fun.
Oh, no.
Blank Check was horrible, and no one needs to watch that movie.
Yeah.
I'll watch it. I'll watch it by myself.
But overall, good stuff. Good stuff.
All right, join us on the next episode where we're going to do Mrs. Doubtfire. So that'll be exciting.
Be good.
I look forward to it.